Let me start off this review by saying two things. If you were not a fan of Man of Steel or Batman versus Superman, this film will impact you in either one of two ways. One, you'll continue to dislike the universe and everything Zack has done. Or two, you'll actually will appreciate Zack's vision and what he was looking to accomplish. When you factor in everything with Zack Snyder, what he had gone through personally and professionally, the campaign of the fans to push for this film into existence, you have to really stand back and think about it. We're sitting and living in a special time right now. We shouldn't be watching this film. This shouldn't exist, but yet here it is. And what are my thoughts? You'll know in just a minute. But first off, the Zack Snyder Justice League film is a 4-hour epic long story broken into 6 chapters and then one epilogue at the very end. It tells a grand picture, a grand story that some have called, and compared to Return of the King or the Lord of the Rings style film, I wouldn't argue with that. That's not too far of a stretch. This is how grand this film is as far as the experience and the storytelling. There's an incredible amount of patience, detail, and care telling the backstory of Cyborg and Flash, and to some extent, Steppenwolf. You understand his motivations. Why is he doing what he's doing for Darkseid? Where he's coming from. You actually understand his motivations. That's incredible because that's not what we got in the original Justice League. In Cyborg, I've heard rumors on the internet saying that he's in the heart of the film. He truly is. And I couldn't picture or put together in my mind how they were going to accomplish that. But he truly is the heart of the film and the soul of the film. Each character, even from Bruce Wayne at the very end of Batman v Superman, one of his last lines is, "I failed him in life, I won't fail him in death." That motivation is carried out throughout this entire film. And Batman, believe it or not, folks, is actually Batman. He behaves like Batman. You don't hear any corny, stupid one-liners like, "Do you talk to fish?" No bullshit like that. It's so refreshing. As far as the history of the Justice League, there's a segment of the film that we briefly saw in the theatrical piece where the gods are fighting Steppenwolf. That is drawn out and spoken to in much larger detail. To the benefit of us, the fans, now we know the importance of the mother boxes and what they do and why Darkseid and Steppenwolf are trying to get a hold of these things. It all makes sense. And while watching this film, I promise you, you're going to be, why didn't they leave that in there? That makes sense. Why did they not leave that in there? Who in their right mind thought this was better? Who in their right mind thought this wasn't going to work? This all makes sense. It ties together. Everything ties together. I'll calm down. Sorry. Let me just continue. And going back to the characters, I kid you not, each character has a pivotal role and duty in the overall success of doing what they have to do. And some characters, I'm not going to spoil this for you, some characters you will not believe what they decided to cut out of Zack's film and place in the theatrical cut. You're going to say, how in the hell let's remove this epic scene that this one character has to do and replace it with something idiotic. That's all I'm going to say. It'll blow your mind, especially part 6. And then you're going to have your pretentious YouTubers and guys out there just looking for clicks saying, you know what? It's the same movie. Everything that happened in the theatrical cut is happening in this film. It's just with more scenes. Well, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. It's not the same film. Granted, the beats are there, but there's more setups. Every minuscule conversation that takes place at the first hour comes back full circle at the very end. The screenplay is written at a steady pace where at no point in this 4-hour time I saw this film did I feel bored or did I think, you know what, they could have cut 5 minutes off that scene. At no point whatsoever did I feel that. And you know what? I'll even go to this. It's like the Richard Donner cut. The Richard Donner cut is very similar to the theatrical cut of Superman 2, but there's more emotional weight. This cut has a tremendous amount of emotional weight. You care about Victor Stone. You care about the Flash. You know the motivations of Steppenwolf, Darkseid's presence. Everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. This film in every way, shape, or form is superior to the theatrical release we got in 2017. And you know what? In some way, it angered me while watching this film because To see what Zack was going for, like a mythological type of storytelling, telling of old gods and new, and to see this epic vision play before my eyes, and to think the Warner Brothers leadership saw this and says, no, let's give him something dumber. Let's give him something that'll make him laugh. Let's give him something silly. Let's go ahead and bring in Josh and bring in some of those Marvel jokes. That'll work. There's a vast difference between MCU films and this film. I'm not saying MCU films are bad in any way, but DC definitely was going for, especially Zack, they were going for a different approach on the storytelling, which I feel is unique and ties to the comic book literature and even mythological literature. And then you're going to have those critics that are going to hate on the 4-hour runtime. And I'm just going to say to them, what about when people binge watch an entire 12-hour show in one day? What's the difference between a 12-hour binge watch and a 4-hour movie? There is no difference. And really, what other choice did Zack have? He was pressured to push the Justice League as fast as they can. They weren't going to get any individual films to set them up before meeting. So he did what he can. And considering that epic challenge, this film in its 4-hour length accomplishes all that. Now, does the film deserve an R rating? To be honest, I don't think it did. There are some dark imagery. If you've been a fan of the DC animated movies, you know how dark they can get. There are some segments within this film that are pretty dark, but not, oh my God, that's rated R, close your eyes, kids. Nothing of that nature. So did the R rating, was it warranted? I'm going to say no. It felt like a very strong PG-13, but there are, again, some dark segments similar to the animated films. That's all I'm going to say. And with all that said, everybody, I am giving Zack Snyder's Justice League, believe it or not, 100. This film is mind-blowingly epic. As a fan who loved Man of Steel and BVS, this is a perfect trilogy of the Zack Snyder universe. The tone is consistent. There's arcs of characters. Every single one of them. There's epic moments at the very end. And yes, there's a cliffhanger, so I'm hoping something happens and we get additional films in this universe. But when you consider us, the fans, for all these years, and all we wanted was his vision to be completed and to finally see it, it's a special experience. So if you're a Zack Snyder fan and have supported the Zack Snyder cut, you will be pleased. You will not be disappointed. And as always, everybody, if you like my review, hit like and subscribe. I really would appreciate hearing from you down below in the comments. It would mean the world to me. But as always, everybody, thank you for watching. Please take care. God bless and live long and prosper.